All right, welcome everybody to the Hudson Public Utilities Commission meeting, Tuesday, November 14th. We are going to start with a roll call, please.
Andy Hassan. Andy?
Here.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Carrie Rice.
Here.
Susie Coram.
Present.
Pat Nolan.
Here.
Dave Preisel.
Here.
And Scott Snyder.
You didn't call me.
Oh, Joyce, I'm so sorry. Oh my God.
I'm here.
I feel so bad. Okay, Joyce is present too. I'm so sorry.
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much, Michelle. Moving on, approval of meeting minutes, October 10th, 2023.
Move to approve.
Second.
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 All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you very much. Number 3, old business, action and new/revised generator quotes for wastewater. Kip?
Okay, so if you remember last month, you actually approved the purchase of some 2 interstate generators. And I'm just going to kind of go through. I'll just read the background on my issue sheet here. So after further investigation on what was previously offered by Interstate Power Systems, Cummins and Fabic Cat for portable generators to operate lift stations in an emergency, we did find some troubling conditions exist with two of what the companies can offer safely. So the lift stations that we have operate on multiple voltages throughout the city. Some require 120, 240, and others require 277, 480. The goal is to set up these 2 generators that can safely operate all the lift stations regardless of the required voltage needed. Interstate and Cummins have a single breaker to control voltage to the cords that are needed to run from the generator to the lift station, regardless of what voltage is needed. This creates a safety hazard issue, energizing both cords. So when I say that we need 2 different voltages, coming off of these portable generators, there's going to be 2 cords. So one's for the 277 480 and one's for 120 240. So with those cords hooked up, with only a single breaker, when you flip that breaker on, both cords are going to be energized at that point. The safety issue that I see is, you're going to have 1 cord laying there. When do you need these generators? You need them when it's raining, snowing, just terrible weather, things like that, 2 o'clock in the morning. So this creates a safety hazard by energizing both cords at once. While only 1 cord is needed to operate the lift station, the second cord will be live on the trailer. There is the option of using pigtails to combat the issue, but then the operator is responsible for making sure the correct cord is plugged in and the correct voltage is selected. In an emergency, it is my opinion, the more we do now to take any potential mistakes out of the equation is necessary and responsible. Fabic Cat provides 2 breakers on their portable generator, 1 breaker for the 120 240 and 1 for the 277 480. This eliminates the potential for operator error in emergency. Only 1 cord will be energized at a time, thus eliminating the potential for mistakes. Fabic Cat does have 2 in stock that we can get right away. Cummins potentially can get them by the end of the year. So I did include the proposals again in there. And I know Fabic Cat is the most expensive one. Cummins came in for both generators at $188, $293. And let me just find Fabic here. And Fabic came in at $113,900 for one of them. So we'd be looking at, $226, $227 for both of them. So it is a substantial amount of money difference. But the issue that I'm seeing and kind of what's leaning me towards the Fabic Cat is just the safety issue. Like I had said in my email there, or in my background, we could use pigtails So out of the generator, there's going to be pigtails coming out. So a set of pigtails would be for 277, 480. One would be for 120, 240. Now it's going to be up to the guys at 2 o'clock in the morning, raining and snowing, sleet blowing, whatever the situation might be, to make sure that they plug the right one into the pigtails. Now, from a safety standpoint, that's easy to do. Okay. The issue is they have to be 100% sure that they're plugging into the correct voltage. So if they take, a lift station that needs the 12240, and by mistake at 3 o'clock in the morning, they're tired, they just got called out of bed, it's raining, it's snowing, the weather's horrible, whatever the situation might be, if they hook up that to the 240 or the 480 and plug that into the lift station, we just completely blew a lift station apart. So
Yeah.
I'm seeing a lot of issues with this. And the only way that we can solve this is by going with the two breakers. So either when the breaker's on, it's energized. When the breaker's off, it's not energized. So basically all the guys have to know is just, we flip on the 12240, that one is energized, that runs that lift station. The other one they don't have to worry about. So that's the reason I'm leaning towards Cummins. Like I said, I know Cummins is more money.
You mean the favorite
Warranty-
cat?
Or yeah, the favorite, or I'm sorry, I'm leaning towards the favorite cat. Just because we can get them two breakers, it was going to completely eliminate. Now, I don't want to say all confusion or all potential mistakes, because there's always them that are out there. Hold on, I think somebody might be trying to. Nope, I guess not.
Well, now these
So-
cords will have a different
So
configuration.
I'm thinking, and all them cords have a different configuration that the guys are going to be responsible in the field to figure out, instead of just having it permanently attached from the factory by an electrician, a certified electrician. To all they have to do is plug it into the lift station, and away they go. So that's why I'm leaning towards the favorite cat. But I also understand that favorite cat is going to be about $30,000 more.
The way it looked, Kip.
So I guess I'm looking from you guys.
Sorry, I think I have a little bit of a lag.
Yeah, go ahead. We can hear you, Andy. Go ahead.
I just have a big lag on my computer right now. Sorry, with the internet. I was just gonna try and open it up for any other questions that anybody has right now about this. I think if it's a safety concern, I mean, I heard what you said, and I'm listening to. I've read what you wrote in here. I think it'd probably be money well spent just to make it easy, so we don't have an issue down the road. That would be my opinion, but I'd be curious to know if anybody else had thoughts on this.
Well, I was just wondering if all these locations, all these lift stations, they're all set up for this. They've got double throw disconnect switches, and
Correct.
then the inlets to plug into, they're all there. Of course,
Right.
they got different configurations for the different voltages. It would really be impossible to plug the wrong cord in, because it's got a different configuration, but then you still got that live cord laying there, which is
Right.
That's
not good.
Yeah, that's my issue. I mean, the only issue that we would have with cords, Pat, is if we go to pigtails. If all we have coming out of that block, the junction block, and I'm not an electrician, so I'm, basically they have a junction block that they would run pigtails out. Now the guys would be responsible for plugging in those pigtails. Now, could they potentially plug, one pigtail in wrong? The potential is there. And that's where I'm just trying to eliminate anything like that with the two breakers. And we've talked to Cummins extensively about putting a second breaker in, and they refuse. They won't do it. For whatever reason, I don't know if it's something to do with their liability or what it is. I don't know, but they won't do it. Interstate Power they haven't even got back to us on any of our questions in the last 30 days. So I'm thinking they're just kind of washing their hands and they just don't want anything to do with it. The only one that, and we've actually went to Fabic, we went to Eau Claire, looked at the generator. We've been to Cummins. We looked at their plant in the cities to look. So, I mean, we've done our due diligence on this, and I'm just seeing Fabic Cat being, I guess, for one, obviously they're a great machine. Cat's been around forever. You know, they're a very large company, so I'm not worried about service. I'm not worried about, you know, anything like that. You can also say the exact same thing for Cummins. I'm more looking at the safety issue, and I just don't know if, you know, spending the additional, you know, $30,000+ is worth the safety issues that I'm talking about. And that's why I'm kind of looking for you guys to give me some guidance here on what your thoughts are or what you guys are thinking too.
Well, that's a touchy deal too. You got to worry about the voltage, of course, but then on the 3-phase ones, you got to worry about having the correct rotation and hope that's all set up. In other words, stuff runs backwards. So, I mean, it's not a simple deal. It's a complex deal. Yep. How about
Are you looking for a vote on this tonight, Kip?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Does anybody else have any other questions? What, Dave?
Yeah.
Sorry.
How much did the cords cost, Kip? Those aren't included?
No, the cords are not included because you know, you don't know what kind of Appleton plugs you need on the generator or on the end of the cord. What lengths of cords do we need? And plus, we'll get the cords right through our electrician. Both Fabic and Cummins both told us don't order cords through them because obviously they're going to mark them up. You know, they'll take the exact cord that the electrician can get. They're going to mark it up, and we figure we can get actually probably looking at about another $4,000, $4 or $5,000 for cords and plugs.
Well, they're included on the one quote.
On the Cummins, they are included, yes.
So that's an extra expense. And
That's
why are we
just for the cords. That doesn't include the plugs.
Why are we quoting 100 kW when we can, you know, quote a 80?
Because Cummins and Fabic only make hundreds. They don't make 80s. We need at least an 80 to power these generators.
Yep.
Actually, we need a 75 watt or 75 kilowatt to power these lift stations. Interstate made an 80. The closest that we can get Fabic and Cummins is 100.
And how much was the interstate?
76,000.
Same specs.
Well, with the exception that they can't provide the second
Breaker.
switch, and they will not provide the second breaker, and they will not provide the second breaker on it.
Is this something that an electrician could put on?
And I'm sorry.
Is
ahead,
this
Joyce.
something
I'm
an
sorry.
electrician could add?
Yeah, see, the breaker,
Yeah.
possibly, but you have to configure the entire generator. It's just not as easy as just throwing a breaker in.
Okay.
You'd have to configure inside all the wiring inside the entire generator. And I did include in from Cummins an email. It just said, "Hey Frank, here are those quotes for you. I'm still confirming that I can get the mobile sets to you yet this year. I also was mistaken on the hot cables on the mobile sets. I confirm that no matter if the voltage selector is 277 480 or 122 40, all cables are hot. This is why we give you the option of the pigtails on the bus bar, and it sounds like that's the best option." So at that point, what that basically means is that then it's going to be up to the guys in the field to select the correct pigtail to plug into the correct cord to plug into the correct lift station. And the Fabic Cat would eliminate that step.
Well, that's why the permanently mounted ones that are automatic are kind of nice. You don't have to worry about that.
And that's what that's kind of was my thinking too, Pat. You know, I mean, I don't want these guys out at 2 o'clock in the morning when it's, you know, raining and stormy and trees are falling over and things, and they're trying to figure out voltages on a lift station and voltages on a generator to make sure that not only you know, that they don't get hurt, which is number one, but B, that they don't do more damage to a lift station by putting the wrong voltage to it too.
Kip, do we have old generators that we're selling?
We have one that's a 1980, I believe. Last meeting when we talked about that one, we call it Big Blue. That one is actually to the point now where that's why we're bringing this up, Dave. We're down to 0 generators in the wastewater department. Big Blue is non-operational right now. And it's so old that the company has been sold 3 or 4 different times. We can't get parts. We can't find parts. And we've actually set up one of our water generators that we have. We had the electrician come in. We spent a couple $1,000, had them set it up so at least we have some sort of a backup at this point, if needed, that we can use the water generator. But then again, if the water generator is being needed by a water plant, that's going to take precedent over a lift station. So that's kind of why we're pushing these here at the end of the year. We just found out that Big Blue went down. We had Neo Electric and them guys in there looking at it, and they can't even find parts for it.
So what are we doing with
You know,
it?
they might be able to rig something up, probably just sell it at the auction, try to get rid of it. And, I mean, we'll be lucky if we get a couple $100 for it, would be my guess. This thing's the size of a half of a semi truck.
Right.
The old
Well,
ones, you know.
Well, these 100 ones won't be small either, but
They're
smaller.
gonna be the size, probably like a 5x8 trailer. The ones that we looked at.
No, a permanent one would be spark ignition and probably run the natural gas, where spark ignition is cheaper than diesels.
Yes, but these are the 2 generators that, you know, currently we've got 14 lift stations in town. And these are the 2 generators that would take care of those 14 lift stations instead of putting permanent at each lift station.
Or at least at the most critical one.
Permanent mount, well, at the critical ones, we already have permanent mount. We do have generators at the real big lift stations like Stone Pine. And then there's one other one. We do have permanent mount generators there already. But these are for like the little ones.
So,
How
Kip, oh, go ahead. Did someone have another comment?
It was just how are we paying for it?
It would be reserves from our cash reserves, which we're fine.
So Kip,
You'll see
I'm
that.
asking that you know the skill level of your team, and you know, just look at the last 3 years, we've had weather emergencies in every year, and there's no sense that that's going to stop. So this seems like a prudent investment. So I move that we purchase 2 of the Fabricat generators as outlined in the proposal.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
All right, number 4, new business. Authorize obtaining proposals from SEH Engineering and Trilogy Consulting to look into future wastewater treatment plant projects and Hudson's continued participation in the WCWBF. Yep.
So we are just an update on the wastewater treatment plant. I can finally say that we are actually submitting our final paperwork to DNR for final payment on the wastewater treatment plant. So
Excellent.
within the next month or 2, that should be 100% wrapped up. Now, with saying, so with the recent completion of the wastewater treatment plant upgrade, I would like to start looking at the process of looking at future needs of the city of Hudson in regards to the wastewater treatment. We know from the 2018 Hudson wastewater treatment plant condition assessment report It was noted that the recent wastewater treatment plant upgrade did not increase our capacity for wastewater treatment, as this project was to bring the current plant up to current specs and prolong the longevity of the wastewater treatment plant, but still operate under our current permit with DNR. With these upgrades, we anticipate being able to serve the needs of the city of Hudson until 2040, or a population of 25,000 customers, whichever comes first. Continued growth in the city of Hudson indicates we will probably reach the population threshold right or around 2040. Staff would like to encourage discussions with SEH Engineering and Trilogy just to start the process of what the future needs of Hudson will be, including answers to the following questions. How do we continue to treat wastewater?
I think we just lost Kip.
Kip.
I think we
Yeah.
just lost Kip.
He'll come back.
He'll come back. He'll come back. Well, I think he was reading the summary that was attached to our agenda.
Yes.
Yeah.
Here we go.
So is everybody still here?
Yeah,
Yay!
welcome back.
Sorry about that. Where did I lose you guys?
I think
So
we're just starting number 2.
Number 2.
okay. So with the recent completion, my question number 2?
Correct.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So question number 1 was, how do we continue to treat wastewater effectively and efficiently with a growing population? Question number 2 is there a need for a future wastewater treatment facility, and what does that look like? So we know that, the current one, we're landlocked. We knew that when we did this, upgrade that we just did. We knew that at some point, the way the city of Hudson is growing, we are going to have needs for something in the future. So, are we looking at a satellite plant? What's going to be that location? Do we even continue to send our biosolids to Ellsworth, or do we look elsewhere? Is there our own biosolids facility on this new site? Is that something that we can do? Do we partner with another community? What are our customer costs, funding? So basically what I'm looking for is just to get the ball rolling on some of this stuff, because before we know it, we're going to be at 25,000 people. We're already, if you include the village, which we do, we're pushing 20,000 now. So within the next couple of years, I anticipate we're going to be pushing that 25,000. And I don't want to wait on this stuff to where all of a sudden we're going, okay, now our wastewater treatment plant is almost at capacity. Now we need to really start putting the hammer down. I'd rather start getting some of this prelim stuff done ahead of time, so we kind of know what the future looks like. What are some options? We can take our time looking at the options. We can, study different options that are out there, just to see what the future of Hudson looks like. I think it's pertinent that we do it. And, also with the biosolids facility down in Ellsworth, our costs continue to go up down there every single year. The trucking costs are extremely expensive. We pay, $100 and some $1,000 a year, almost probably 200,000 a year for trucking costs. But I'd like to get all these numbers put back kind of in a summary, or in some sort of a document that says, this is where we're at today. Here's what our future looks like. Here's some options for the future. And then when do we start working on these options? I just don't want this to come and all of a sudden it's here, and now we have to scramble trying to find something. So, I don't think we're not looking at a lot of money, just kind of getting the ball rolling, with getting the, sitting down, having some meetings with SEH, with Trilogy, just to kind of establish where we're at and what the future actually looks like. So I just like authorization just to kind of start. I haven't reached out to SEH, or I haven't reached out to Trilogy to get any costs yet on what this would look like. I'm guessing it's probably, minimal, but at least let's kind of get rolling with what the future is going to be bringing us.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. I think it's better to be proactive than reactive. So I'd go ahead and approve you guys and authorize you to go ahead and start those conversations with SEH Engineering and Trilogy.
Okay.
get another motion to go ahead and do that?
Yeah, I
So
mean, yeah, I
moved.
think it would just be best if we would make a motion on it, just then we have it.
Joyce,
So
that was you.
moved. Yep.
I-
mhm.
I have a question. Would
Yeah.
that be something where they would bring to us what the different depths of the process would look like so that you can
Oh,
then
definitely.
Yeah,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah. I mean, we'll be having a lot of discussion on that. And it might take us 6 months to even get something kind of started here, but I just want to get the ball rolling. I mean, if we have to build a satellite plant, wherever that's going to be, I mean, I anticipate that's what's going to happen. We're going to need another wastewater treatment plant. Just we don't have the room unless technology changes, which can always happen. We don't have the room down at the current wastewater plant. There's just physically no room down there for us anymore. So we will be looking at a satellite, maybe a whole new plant. What does that plant look like? What does it have to do? What does it have to treat? Can we do minimal treatment at the new one, send it down to the old one for final treatment? Do we do all treatment out? There's
Mhm.
hundreds of questions.
How many
that
acres
need
are needed for
answers.
how many acres are needed
Yeah.
for this? Because
And if
we don't
and
have,
if
there's
that's
not, there's not a lot of places to put it.
right.
So we need to start
And if
working on
that's
it
the
now.
case, if we start looking at this and let's say, we do need a satellite plant. Where is it going to be? Well, what land's available? Is it worth us buying land now for the future? Or do we start waiting until the city expands and the prices keep going up? And, so there's just a lot of things that we really need to start looking at
Yep.
for the,
I agree. I think we
For
should
the
go ahead
future,
and do that.
you know.
So I made the motion. Joyce, you seconded it.
I have
You
two
have another
comments.
question?
Yeah, I
Okay.
do. Pat might want to join in too, but he and I attended with Joe from the treatment plant a session today on the biosolids project in Ellsworth. And Joe can give you a more complete update. I have the thick packet, Kip, and Joe should be able to give that to you. One of the things that was flagged when it was mentioned that both Hudson and New Richmond are taking a deeper dive on kind of the future use and that sort of thing was that one of the attendees there in a very friendly way said, well, I believe that we have a contract with them, and so they should probably include an evaluation of legal liability in that. So
yep.
just
And we're well aware of that.
yep.
And
How long
that's
is our contract?
about 17 more years
Yep.
Okay.
with them.
And then they talked
Oh,
about
that's
other-
2040.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
Right.
talked about other changes, ways to reduce the cost of the transportation. It's so much of what we haul is liquids. The second thing, and I know it sounds like kind of a frightening scenario, but I used to work for a company where every year we went through exercises that we called disaster recovery, and we would go into them not knowing what scenario they were going to present to us. It could be everything from on the extreme of a terrorist attack to in the case of this, it would be, a 10-inch rainfall, something like that. And what would that do to the city and what would we need to be included? So while those things sound crazy, all you have to do is turn on the news and know that in parts of Europe, in Kentucky and other places, they have experienced those kinds of weather extremes. And knowing that our wastewater treatment plant is right down there by the river, I think we have to think real hard about engaging these outside group to take a look at that and say, what should we be planning, not only for population, but also in the event that there were to be an extreme weather event. So
Right.
I would include, as a bullet, disaster recovery conversation and see what they come up with.
Yeah. And that's all stuff that, like I said, this is what I asked for on with the SCH and trilogy was just get everything rolling.
Yeah.
Them are all great points that, at some point we'll sit down with you guys as a commission and say, here's what we came up with. Do you have stuff to add? Would you like to see extra things included? Different things like that. I agree 100%. Hudson's a growing community. We're fast growing. We're fast paced. And we need to be out in front of what is potentially coming down the road here in the next, even 5 years, 10 years, stuff like that. So.
Okay,
Great. Any other questions? No? Well, I'll go ahead and make the motion again, just so we got it nice and clean, to go ahead and start the conversations with SEH and Trilogy. Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
I,
Aye. Wonderful. That is approved. Number 5, project updates, project status report.
Yeah, so in your packet, you've got the updates. Other than like I just gave you the update on the wastewater treatment plant, we're wrapping that thing up. That should be done in the next, I'm guessing, 30 days or so. We haven't moved a whole lot on the Green Street. We're just going through that stuff with Cedar Corp. The Lake Malibu water main crossing in the North Street water and sewer project that we're doing. That is out for bid right now. We will be having a bid opening on December 6th this year, December 6th. So our next meeting in December, that will be coming to you. The bid openings or the bid tabulations will be coming to you for review at that point. So once we get them opened up, then that'll come back to you guys for review, and then hopefully we can approve one and move on with those 2 projects, getting them going for this year.
Awesome. Any questions on any of the projects or the updates for Kip? Nope. All right, moving on. Other business for informational purposes only, or for an upcoming agenda?
I do not have anything unless anybody else does.
there was a cash report attached. Do we need to our agenda? Do we need to address that at all?
That's number 7.
That's
Okay.
next.
All right,
Yeah, we'll adjust that, and that's just informational.
okay.
Well, perfect. Jumping into the cash report, sewer utility and water utility cash reports.
Yeah, so they are included in your packet. Them are just information only, just kind of on where we're standing as of the report date. So.
Any questions on the cash report that anybody can see? Okay. Move down to number 8, discussion and possible action on claims.
Move to approve.
Do we have a second?
Second,
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Number 9. So number 9 is closed session. The committee may vote to go into closed session under Wisconsin statute section 19.85, deliberating or negotiating the purchasing of public properties, the investing of public funds, or conducting other specified public business whenever competitive or bargaining reasons require a closed session. In closed session, the committee will discuss the existing water and wastewater agreements with the Village of North Hudson. The committee may adjourn in closed session or may return to open session. If the committee returns to open session, the committee may take action regarding the existing water and wastewater agreements with North Hudson. Motion to go into closed session.
So moved.
I'll
All
second.
in favor?
Aye.
I
Aye. Go ahead, Kip.